I 29 me thought I was just helping my elderly neighbor carry groceries. Now the entire apartment complex thinks I'm running an underground fight club, and the cops want to talk to me. Hey Reddit, throwaway for obvious reasons. This happened last week and my life has been absolute chaos since. I'm a completely average guy. Software engineer, WFH most days, pays rent on time, owns 2 houseplants that are somehow still alive. I'm not dramatic. I'm not the main character type. But in the span of one normal Tuesday, I went from nice dude in 4B to neighborhood legend criminal suspect. Buckle up. This is long, but every word is true. It started simple. I was coming back from the corner store with my usual sad bachelor haul, frozen pizza, energy drinks, and overpriced oat milk. Mrs. Kowalski from 3A was struggling with 2 big reusable bags at the lobby door. She's like 78, sharp as a tack, always baking too much banana bread for the building. I've helped her before, held the elevator, that kind of thing, so I offered to carry her bags up. No, dear, I'm fine, she said, but she let me take them anyway. We rode the elevator together. She was chatty, telling me about her late husband who used to box back in the day, and how the building's new management was raising rents again. Normal old lady stuff. When we got to her door, she fumbled with her keys and dropped them. I bent down to pick them up, and that's when I noticed her hands were shaking worse than usual. She looked embarrassed. Arthritis acting up, she muttered. I offered to put the groceries away for her. She hesitated, then waved me in. Her apartment smelled like old books and lemon cleaner. Very tidy, very old school. I set the bags on the counter and started unpacking like a good neighbor. Cans of soup, cat food. She has this massive orange tabby named Mr. Pickles, some weird herbal supplements, and a surprising amount of red meat. As I was putting stuff in the fridge, I heard a loud thump from the back bedroom. Mrs. Kowalski froze. Ignore that, she said quickly. Too quickly. The thump happened again, followed by what sounded like muffled cursing. My brain went into overprotective mode. Was someone hurting her? Was there an intruder? I grabbed the nearest weapon, a loaf of French bread, and crept toward the bedroom door while she hissed at me to stop. I pushed the door open. Inside was not an intruder. It was a shirtless, sweaty, muscular guy in his mid-30s doing push-ups on the floor next to a boxing bag hanging from the ceiling. The room was a full illegal home gym. Weights, mats, a heavy bag, speed bag, even one of those big rubber tires you flip. The guy looked up, saw me holding bread like an idiot, and started laughing so hard he collapsed. Mrs. Kowalski sighed behind me. This is my grandson, Tommy. He's, staying with me for a bit. Tommy stood up, wiped sweat with a towel, and grinned. Nice to meet you, bread guy. Grandma, you didn't tell me you had a new enforcer. That should have been the end of it. Awkward laugh, I leave. Life continues. But Tommy was interesting. Ex-MMA fighter who blew out his knee, now training fighters on the side but keeping a low profile because of some old legal trouble. He was vague. He hated the new building management and had been secretly training in his grandma's spare room for months. The thumps? Neighbors below had complained, so they'd padded everything. We started talking. I mentioned I used to box a little in college, true, for like 6 months before I realized I hated getting hit. Tommy's eyes lit up. You got the build for it. Want to hit the bag once? 1 punch turned into 10. Then footwork drills. Then Mrs. Kowalski brought us sandwiches and watched us like we were her personal soap opera. I left 2 hours later sore, laughing, and with Tommy's number, in case you want to roll around sometime, no homo. I figured that was that. Fun afternoon. Good karma. I was wrong. The next day I get a text from an unknown number. Yo, bread guy, you free tonight? Got a guy who needs a sparring partner last minute, pays $50 cash. I laughed it off at first, but I was bored. My coding sprint was done early, and $50 for exercise sounded better than rotting on the couch. I went. It was in the basement storage area of our building. Tommy had rigged up lights, a makeshift ring with old moving blankets as padding, and like 8 dudes showed up, some young, some my age, all looking like they worked normal jobs but needed an outlet. Plumbers, delivery drivers, one accountant who hit like a truck. No phones allowed. Cash bets on the side, but small. Tommy refereed. I sparred. I got my ass kicked, but in a fun way. I landed a few decent shots, people cheered. Someone called me bread hands. I left feeling alive for the first time in years. Night 3. Word spread. More guys. Someone brought better gloves. The fight club, we never called it that, grew. Night 5. Mrs. Kowalski started selling slices of her famous tiramisu at the events. $5 apiece. She made bank. Night 7. The building manager, this smug prick named Derek who'd been slapping everyone with random fines, heard noise complaints again. He came down to the basement with a flashlight and a bad attitude. He walked in on 12 grown men shirtless, sweaty, cheering while 2 guys circled each other. I was in the corner getting my hands wrapped by Tommy. Derek's face went purple. "What the hell is this?" Someone panicked and yelled, "It's a book club." I, like an idiot trying to de-escalate, said, "Yeah, we're discussing Fight Club. The rules are important." Dead silence. Then the whole room lost it laughing. Derek started screaming about calling the cops, illegal gatherings, liability, etc. That's when things went nuclear. One of the guys, turns out he's a lawyer, calmly told Derek that since the basement storage is common area and no money was officially changing hands for fighting, the side bets were friendly. It was more like an informal fitness group. Mrs. Kowalski appeared out of nowhere with a tray of cookies and said, "Derek, dear, you work so hard. Have a treat and join us. My Tommy can show you proper form." Derek was so flustered he actually took a cookie and left muttering. But he didn't let it go. The next day, building-wide email. "Unauthorized activities in basement will result in eviction proceedings. We have security footage." People started texting me, the new face of the operation, because I was the one who helped Mrs. Kowalski that first day and got roped in. "Bread hands, what do we do? They can't evict all of us, right?" Suddenly, I was the reluctant leader of this ragtag group of normal dudes who just wanted to hit stuff after work instead of drinking or scrolling. I tried to shut it down, told Tommy we should move it somewhere else. He agreed, but then the guys started showing up at my door with snacks, beer, and stories. One guy confessed his wife was leaving him, and this was keeping him sane. Another said he'd lost 30 pounds and fixed his blood pressure. Mrs. Kowalski told me her grandson hadn't smiled like this since before his injury. I caved. We moved operations to the big, unused storage room on the other side of the basement. Better soundproofing. One guy had a key from when he helped the super last year. We posted lookouts. It felt ridiculous and thrilling. Then came Saturday. Derek, being a petty tyrant, hired a private security guard to patrol. The guard was actually cool. He was ex-military and ended up watching one session and giving tips. But Derek was escalating. He called the actual cops on a noise complaint during our biggest night yet. 2 officers showed up. Everyone froze. I was literally in the middle of the ring with my shirt off, gloves on, facing a 6'4" truck driver nicknamed Tiny. One cop looked around, saw a bunch of normal-looking guys, Mrs. Kowalski knitting in the corner selling baked goods, and just sighed. "Is anyone here against their will?" Collective no. The other cop recognized Tommy. Turns out they went to high school together. Small world. They chatted, warned us about noise and liability, took some cookies for the road and left. Derek was furious. He started a campaign. Notes on doors, emails threatening mass eviction, even got some Karens in the building riled up. That's when the viral part happened, though I didn't know it yet. One of the younger guys secretly recorded a 15-second clip on his phone, against rules, of me dodging a punch in slow motion, while Mrs. Kowalski cheered in the background holding her cat. He posted it anonymously on the local city subreddit with the caption, "Our building has the most wholesome underground fight club run by a grandma." It exploded. 40K upvotes in a day. Local news picked it up. Mysterious basement boxing bringing neighbors together amid rent hike tensions. Suddenly, reporters were sniffing around. Derek was getting hate mail. The building owner, who lives out of state, called Derek demanding to know why he was harassing community wellness activities. And me? My face was blurry in the video, but people in the building knew. I started getting nods in the hallway. Random dudes I've never met fist-bumped me by the mailboxes. A woman in 2C asked if her husband could join. Last night, Tommy and Mrs. Kowalski came over with pizza. Tommy wants to make it official. Maybe rent a real space, turn it into a legit community gym for regular guys. Mrs. Kowalski says she's never been this popular, but Derek is still gunning for us. He's demanding I stop organizing illegal activities or he'll sue the whole building or something. I'm getting texts from neighbors asking me to be their representative at the next tenant meeting. Reddit, I just wanted to carry some groceries. Now I'm accidentally the leader of the most wholesome illegal fight club in the city, defending Grandma's tiramisu empire, and possibly about to get evicted, for not shutting it down immediately. Do I lean into this chaos or try to go back to being invisible? How do I explain this to my very normal parents? TLDR. Helped old lady, discovered secret home gym, accidentally started neighborhood fight club, viral video. Now I'm the reluctant king of basement boxing while management tries to destroy us. Send help or gloves.